Hey guys, and how's it going? Maniac Mower here. Previously in the last video we were working on this 1977 John Deere 212. It had a problem with it. I got it. It sat 5 years. It's not my tractor. I'm fixing it for a friend. I've had it around here for a little while because I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on with it. It had a couple problems with it. I think the key switch was one of them, along with a couple other things. Once I put a new I cleaned the key switch on it. I put a new coil on it and I cleaned up the points on it and I finally got it to run. One of the videos before, we pulled the fender pan off of it and we were working on the fuel tank, trying to figure out what was going on with it. It needed cleaned out, so I cleaned it out. Fuel line was just absolutely junk. It wasn't worth reusing, so I went online and it took about a month for it to show up. And I ended up getting a roll of fuel line. Hopefully this will be enough to fix that tractor. Hopefully it'll be enough for me as well for some of my other projects. In this video today, we are going to pull the fender pan off of here and we are going to, what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to put new line on it. We're going to put the fuel tank back in, put the fender pan back on, get the pedals all hooked up. That pedal is not hooked up. It is just sitting there for right now. That was so I could have no load on the engine. Once we get the engine running and it runs decent, we'll drag it out, drive it around a little bit, test that transmission out, see how it does. And then we'll run the engine for, I think I'm going to run it for maybe about an hour or two. Let it sit outside and just run, idle, maybe go out every once in a while and throttle it up some. Let it sit there and run for a bit. And then after that, I want to test that battery charger, the stator and the regulator as well, make sure they're working good. Then once the engine's nice and hot, we'll drain the oil out of it, put new oil in it, start it back up, let it run for a bit. I don't know if I'm going to drain that oil out too and flush it, depending on how bad the oil is when I pull it out. The oil that's in it actually doesn't look half bad when you look at it on the dipstick. The tractor sat without a fuel pump on it, and just about anything could have got in there, but I'm looking at this oil and it actually doesn't look terrible. It needs changed, but it's not white, so that's a good thing. When I say white, I mean milky. So I think, is there anything else that I need to tell you guys? I don't think so. Let's go on ahead and we'll dive into this guy and we will get this running. Get this fender pan pulled off, everything else pulled off here, put the fuel tank in along with some fuel line. And then after we do that, we should be ready to go. So let me put you guys in the stand real quick. I'm going to get this pulled off here, and then we'll put the tank back in and everything else. So let's go. Currently letting the battery charge up on the tractor. I have not let it charge. I'm continuing right off where we finished in the last video on this tractor with finally getting it to run. So that's why I'm in such a good mood. Don't question it. Hopefully it's just about dry. It's been up there now for about 3 months. So, should be. Hopefully it is. Tempted to take that off there and replace it with a elbow. Give me a second, guys. I gotta remember how this goes together. I haven't messed with the 200 series in a while. Okay, I see how it goes. Is that fuel line still on there? Yes, it is. I thought it was. Couldn't just leave it on there. I know it's not hooked up anywhere else, so where it's hung up, I'm not sure. There it is. Hang on, wait a second. Is this engine sitting on here? No, it's not. Ew, it's got gas in it. That looks disgusting. Yeah, that definitely smells. Look at all that dust. Yeah, I'd say that fuel line looks maybe about 40-something years old. I think this tractor is about 45 years old. Somewhere around there. Looks about 45 years old. Grab my fuel line. I'm gonna have to see how much we need. I think we need about 5 feet. 4 or 5 feet. Somewhere around there. There. No, this isn't the way I'm gonna run it. For those of you wondering. I don't want to have too much extra either. Right there's where I'm going to cut it. I'd say that's not long enough. Cut that piece of fuel line. Let's get that run from here. Through here. Down and through there. Oh, that's broken. So I guess that don't matter. Trying not to get all kinds of dirt in it as I run it through. Where's that? Fuel line. Tried to escape. There we go. It does have a, oh man, I thought I was going to knock the camera over. It does have a little extra on it that I left on there that I probably shouldn't. Oh, you know what? I ran it over the clutch pedal assembly. Well, I might have to run it over the clutch assembly actually. I'm trying to run it through and not get anything else. I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, there we go, we got it. Okay. There's a clamp right there still, so awesome, that works. That looks perfect. Then we'll run it through here and down. There we go. Let's see, that's about how far I want it. Run it up through here. I'll bring you guys up here when I hook it up to the engine, but you'll see. Bring it down. More than likely, I'm definitely going to cut it down a little bit. And probably whatever extra I get out of it, we'll put on the, when we put the line from the carburetor to the fuel pump. Because probably going to end up replacing that line too, since I'm doing the fuel line on here. Damn it, I didn't have any, never mind. Maybe I don't have any extra. Let me grab a clamp real fast. Have to get some more of these clamps here soon, I guess. I'm running out of them. One there, one there. Where's my... We'll get this put in. And once we do that, we will run up to the front. That one might be too big. I don't have another one this same size that I've got on here right now. So we might be in trouble. There we go. That's one there. Conveniently, there's already clamps on that line from the pump to the carburetor, which I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to leave that line alone because it looks fine. There we go, that's on. I don't like this cap because if water gets into it, then I'm going to have to mess with it again, but it should be okay. It probably won't be on there very long. I'll bring you guys up here. Bring you down. There we go. We'll turn that around on the fuel pump. That little nozzle. And once we do that, we should be ready. Trying to get in there to get it. There we go. Turn that down and around. Come up in here and get it. There we go, right there. Well, before I forget, grab my clamp. I think this clamp's a little bit big. Hell, I think this line's a little bit big. There we go. And I'm starting to wonder if I'm going to end up having to shorten this line. Oh, there we go. That actually might work. Probably end up replacing that hose clamp. Let's see, what do we want to do next? I kind of want to put gas in it and try it out and see how it does. I think that's what I'm going to go on ahead and do. So let me grab my gas can. We'll fill the tank. Not fill it, but just put enough in it to start it. And then once we do that, we'll fire it up, see how it runs. Hopefully everything goes to plan. And it runs. Grab my gas can here. Let's try this. Ready? That should be enough. I don't want to overfill it. Just in case we run into a leak. So far I don't see anything leaking. So maybe we're off to a good start. Let me get this off here because I can see that deteriorating. Get that off there and stop one problem before it starts. We'll prime it. I was going to let the gasket up there, but we'll prime it just a couple times, then we'll try starting it. Now let me run up there. We'll try starting it up. Start taking your guesses and placing your bets. What do you think's going to happen? I'm going to leave it throttled up a little. Give it a second. Take a break. I don't want to overwork that starter just yet. You know what, is that valve turned on before I forget about it? That way is off. I think it is on. We'll open it in the middle until we know if it's open or not. Okay, I'd say we've let it sit long enough. Ready? I was just getting ready to choke it. Isn't that awesome? I'm gonna shut it off real quick. Then we'll try starting it back up. Then I'll put everything on it and park it outside for a few minutes. Oh good, it dies. Let's try starting it again. Ready? Awesome. Let me go on ahead and put it outside. I'll let it run for a little while. Then we'll throw the seat on it. We'll throw everything back on it, try it out, see how it drives. I will be right back. the pedals all hooked back up, I think the next thing we need to do is put the knobs back on it. And once we get the knobs put back on there, we should be all set and ready to go. Not gonna tighten that one down. There we go. Everything is put back on it. It should be. He's got the hood, I don't have the hood. Other than that, everything I know of is on the tractor, so we got it all put back together. Let's go on ahead, start it up, try driving it back and forth. Test everything out, make sure everything on here works good. Then once we know everything works good, I'm hoping that transmission is good. I really don't want to swap that transmission out, but maybe we'll have to, we'll see. Guys ready? Let's see what we get. Ooh. Wow, this is weird. This feels weird. I haven't sat on this tractor yet, as far as I know. And it feels weird to sit on it after everything I've done. Ready? Should start right up. Let's try her first. See how that does. Second, actually first. Let's try first gear. Second. This is third. Let's try driving it. Well, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today in the shop. I ended up adjusting the carburetor on this and trying to get it to run a little bit better. I ran it for a little while and it almost sounded like it had a happy knock, like what the Tecumseh had on the 68, so I just brought it in, shut it off, and left it alone. I was driving it up a hill when I noticed it. That's the first time I've noticed it. I don't know if it was a knock or if it was maybe just something over here moving around. It really didn't sound like a knock, but I didn't want to test it because this wasn't my tractor. So I just brought it back over here. I figured, well, I'll just bring it back in and shut it off, and probably not going to worry about the oil in it right now, because if it's got a knock, then there's really no point in changing that oil. That oil looked good. It looks okay and good enough that I think it should be able to run. It didn't burn any. That's good. So I think that's how I'm going to leave it. I want to thank you guys for sticking around today and hanging out with me in the shop. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Hopefully we will be getting back into the 110. I haven't done a video on it in a while. That should be the next project we get back into and working on. I also decided I'm going to mess with this 212 again, my 212, and try to see if I can figure out that running issue and what's going on with it. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.